Hi. Hi, Jessica. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm so good, and I'm so excited to be talking to you about your film, Tight, that was at our festival. In fact, I forgot to point this
Oh,
out,
yeah.
but your name is on that
Oh,
poster
cool.
behind me. And it was one of the most talked about shorts at our festival, and now you're going to be at HollyShorts, which is huge as an Oscar qualifying festival. So I'm so happy for you. So yeah, I just wanted to chat about your film, and we'll just kind of go into it. I read your director's statement, but I was wondering if you could, answer what was the inspiration behind this film and this story idea? Yeah.
Yeah, it started just because I learned about the husband stitch from a friend. We were talking about birth and childbirth, and she kind of offhandedly mentioned like, "Oh, I'm kind of w wary of, giving birth
Yeah.
in hospitals because of this thing called the husband stitch," and I didn't know what it was, and I looked it up, and it's a real thing. And I just was like, wow, this would be a really good like thing to write about. And then I looked online to see if there was any movie that was made about this and not really
Oh,
anything that I could find. So
yeah.
I was like, oh, I should do this. And then also I just thought like I have a lot of anxiety going to hospitals with my mom being
Hmm.
sick, a lot of
Yeah.
my childhood, and I kind of wanted to showcase like the second, um, just like the importance of a second opinion, uh,
Yes.
when you see like a doctor and maybe they don't give you the right medical advice or the right medical
Mhm.
attention.
Mhm.
Or if someone says something to you that seems like pretty severe, it's like always important to like see someone else and like get a second opinion and see if that's actually reality. So yeah, those
Yeah.
are kind of the two things that
Yeah, and
I,
I so wish you could have seen some of the other shorts in your block because it was a theme for sure. Just like, there's one short, oh, man, we actually didn't show this one, but Lori Felker is the director. She did this short film called Patient, and we were going to show it, but then like there was another festival that had, I don't know, it's a whole thing, but it's literally about like doctors practicing telling actor patients like about certain things so they could practice the way they talk to patients. And it's so fascinating. And yeah, I never heard about this husband stitch thing before. And so, yeah, I'm really, this was a very interesting way to tell the story. And I love your actress, and I want to say her name, but I feel like I won't say it right because it's can you pronounce her name for me?
I'm not really sure if I can accurately pronounce her full name. I call
Yeah,
her Bobby because that's how
Bobby.
most
Okay.
people call
Yeah, because
her.
it's like Fabian
The
Tariq
rest,
and then
Tariq
blah blah
goes
blah
to
blah.
my,
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't know. I'm really bad with, but she's a dear friend of mine, so I should probably figure it out. Um,
Yeah. Yeah,
but
and we'll
she's
credit her in this piece. I was like, do I attempt it? I don't
yeah.
know, but I'm curious like how you found her for this main role and how was it working with her in this psychological, but she was so good.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah.
I actually met her because we got the same grant through the Future of Film as Female. She's also a
Ah,
filmmaker.
oh,
Um,
cool.
so it was cool. Like I met her actually, I think the second month I moved to LA because they had like a meetup with all the grantees and we just kind of got on and I found out that she was my neighbor and
Ah,
I think we hung out a couple times and then I wrote this and I had sent this and then to her and then this other girl, Christine, who did this movie Mosquito Lady, which
mm,
is like doing very well on the circuit. It's about abortion. Um,
okay.
but she was available and I met up with her and this was right before kind of the writer's strike. So this was kind of like a
Oh,
year ago, like in
mm-hmm,
June.
mm-hmm.
But it's crazy. I wrote it and then we shot it like within a month and a half. So it was a very like quick thing and she was just so open. I'd seen her in many things. She's like a very good actress and has been
Yeah,
in a lot of features and many shorts. So there wasn't like much rehearsal. There's one just her getting to know the guy,
yeah,
Elliot. And just we chose, to only wear like white clothing
yeah.
first, so we sourced like the clothing between my stuff and her stuff. So um
That's so cool.
yeah,
Yeah. And I also love how you show like the importance of pleasure, for sexual pleasure for women, like it's just like it's such an important thing, and just to have that taken away from you because some guy is obsessed with how he could get off is just it's horrible, and yeah, it was just so fascinating. And what was it with the plastic? Like, I don't know if you want to go too in depth about that, but
yeah.
I just thought, you really went to town on the plastic. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I just thought it was such a like serious subject.
Hmm.
And I thought, like, first of all, I just thought it was like a genre piece. As soon as I thought of the concept, I was like, oh, this is a horror, but I want it to be like more of a genre art
Yeah.
thing.
Hmm.
And I grew up watching TLC's My Strange Addictions, which is
Oh.
show where like people are like in love with their car or like they can't stop like
Oh,
drinking laundry detergent, like horrible things.
oh
But
my
I
goodness.
was like, oh, maybe this woman has had a weird coping mechanism in the past that like tied to the theme of like
Mm.
tightness. And so I
Oh,
just thought about saran wrap and I thought
that's
they're
so
in the middle of
creative.
a move, like it's around and like she's kind of repressed this thing. And there was
Hmm.
even a discussion like with the actors. It's like, does he know that she had this thing before? Because when he like walks in and everything is covered, he isn't shocked. Like
Yeah,
he's like, oh God, this again, kind of like,
right,
oh, she's not doing well. But
right.
yeah, there was just discussion of like, oh, how many times has she done that? Like, has she kind of done this before when they were just casually dating? Like, how does
Yeah,
this also play into their sex life? If it did, like,
yeah,
obviously rope stuff, and you see that in
right.
the end. But yeah. So I just thought it would be like kind of a funny uh thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And I want to talk about, so I love the female non-binary filmmakers I've been talking to recently. They all have like women DPs and I love that. And I think, you know, that's a like we don't talk about women DPs enough, like there's so many amazing ones out there and I feel like we just keep talking about the same dudes, and so the fact that you have a female DP is really exciting to me. And can you talk to me about like working Sarah Weldon, right?
Yeah, Sarah Weldon.
Yeah, like how was that collaboration for you?
It was great. We had been trying to like work on something together, I think like at least 4 other projects, and they all kind of fell through in some COVID or money or whatever
Yeah.
the heck. Um, but I had gotten very close with her. She moved to LA right when I did from Portland, but
Ah,
we didn't know each other in Portland, and it was only here that we started kind of having, developing just like a friendship. And her wife, Kelly, is also the production designer on this.
oh, that's so
Um,
cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it was just great. Like she definitely pushed me. I mean, because you've seen just like a lot of my work in general. Like this is
Mhm.
definitely the most stylized
Yes.
thing and I think intentional thing I've ever done with the cinematography and like thinking
Mhm.
about that. And it was really all coming from her, like pushing me to do so and just like shot listing everything. It's not like
Yeah.
a guerrilla style thing that I normally do. It's very intentional. And yeah, I don't know. She had a really good relationship with Kodak too, which is why we were able to shoot on film and like
Yes.
she had really wanted to, and I had for many years, and it worked out. But I mean, she was so creatively involved, and like so was Kelly. They both produced it with me, and like they
That's
got
so
us like
great.
major deals, and a lot of the baby stuff like Kelly just found on the street.
Oh, really?
Because there's like I don't know why a lot of people just like put baby stuff on the street when they're done
Oh
with it.
my,
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
So yeah, I'm not sure I would use it, but
Yeah, of
but
course.
it's
But
on the
it
street.
served a purpose. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
So
Yeah.
creatively, it was just like amazing, and they both are so fantastic. And Kelly had to do so much, especially in the hospital stuff, because many
Oh,
of those
yeah.
were blank, and we had like 6 hours to film all of that stuff, basically, which was crazy.
Yeah, I
Um,
think didn't you talk a little bit about that during the Q&A we did for the festival? Like
yeah,
how scrappy you were with those scenes. Can you talk a
yeah.
little bit about that here?
Yeah, I mean, I just, I always am so like transparent about budget. Like I made this with $7,000 and it was my
Mm,
money. And so the location we had for the house was my godmother's house. And so the main
mhm,
location we paid for was the hospital. And that was like, I think ultimately $800. But it was
mm.
like that was a lot of our budget. So
Yeah.
we couldn't go over, and we did go over, and that was like 800 was with us going over an hour.
Hmm.
But it was just like an insane hustle from like everyone involved. We knew like it was going to be the most complicated thing on the day, also emotionally for Fabi.
Yeah.
And that scene in the beginning of the hospital, like the tone is when they're in the room with the guy, that
Hmm.
dialogue was also, we were trying to finesse it when
Hmm.
they were setting up because we are like, I don't know, like, Elliot is like an asshole, but I don't want him to come off
Yeah.
like too much, like so fast. And
Hmm.
I kind of want in the beginning for her to just seem a little whiny almost and like not the most
Mm.
sympathetic because
Yeah.
I want that to complete like
Yeah.
180. So yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, that it's so great, and it really looks like high production, like
yeah,
high production value, and it's very like sleek, and I love it, and yeah, so my next question is a question I always ask. Um, I gotta stop like claiming that it's my question because honestly, I took this from an interview. I saw Ava DuVernay was interviewing Garrett Bradley, and
oh
she asked
cool.
this question, and I just have like snagged it for all my interviews. So I'm gonna start giving her credit because I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, this is my question, but it's not really, but I always get the best answers. So, what do you hope people see in your film?
Um, well, first of all, I think everything I do there, or a lot of things I make, there has to be kind of a social cause or a social impact. At least for me, like I love movies that teach me something,
Yes.
or or just like shield, there's just like a new world, and like whether that's like a marginalized community that's like not highlighted, or like female
Yeah.
perspective. For me, like this movie was important because this was something that was so shocking to me and I didn't know it existed. And so for me, I just hope people watch this and are like, oh, learn about this for one, but also kind of
Yeah.
think more about their relationship to um our healthcare
Yes.
institutions
Mm-hmm.
because they are so patriarchal, and
Mm-hmm.
so much of what female care is through a male lens, and just like how they've even learned about so many things. So I think that's kind of the main thing that I
Okay.
want people to think about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think honestly that is kind of the main thing people have taken from it because it is so shocking and so many people
Mm-hmm.
don't know. So I think um Yeah, I mean, I love like when people laugh too. Like I think it's a funny
Yeah.
and it's very uncomfortable. But
Hmm.
yeah, I think
Hmm.
I just wanted to show something in in like a stylized thing that could definitely play at many festivals and like
Yes.
do well like in the festival circuit while also kind of like disguising it as actually like something that is really important to me, which is like
Yeah. That's
bodily autonomy and yeah.
of course. And
Yeah.
you did a great job. And so I also want to talk about your feature debut that you've been working on. Can you talk about it? Because I'm
Yeah.
excited. Like, I don't know how much you could say about it.
I mean, it's so weird because it's like I've been working on it now for like 5 years and
Mhm.
it's just kind of just like at a standstill. Like I've started funding and I have a good amount and
Mhm.
I could make again, I'm just like so transparent. I could make it for $100,000 or I could make it for like
Yeah.
300,000.
Yeah.
And right now, and it's so weird like doing a seed and spark thing. I just want to be so sure that
Yes.
I want to do it at that level that is 100. And it's
Mhm.
also when you seed and spark something, it's like I'm only gonna ask for 30. Like
Yeah.
anything above that is just not a good. So I've just, I've been also writing something else that's with 4 people and in
Okay.
one location. So I really want to make Mitzvah as my first feature, and I love it so
Ah,
much, and it feels like my baby. But at the same
yeah.
time, if I can't do that at the bare minimum with like the 100, then I'm
Yeah.
probably gonna pursue like the thing that can be made in a very small budget. And
Okay. Okay.
yeah, so I'm kind of like at this weird standstill, and like because
Hmm.
the short is doing well, like I hope that that helps in terms of like asking for money. And then I just
Yeah.
finished another short that I'm gonna be sending off, and I hope it does as well as tight. And like I hope with like
Yeah.
2 track record things, like that will just be even more. But I'm just kind of being like patient and like I know it'll happen when it's supposed to happen, and like things take
Right.
so much time. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited, and I think, short films, I don't want to say they don't, yeah, I mean, obviously they don't get as much as many platforms,
Yeah.
but I feel like there is value in the shorts. I mean, that's why I love having a festival that's just all short films. So I feel like, yeah, like putting some really good shorts out there is all going to lead to good things.
Yeah.
And this one is really good. And I love following you and your work. And I'm so excited for you. So yeah.
Thank
Mhm.
you. Yeah.
Yes, of course. And do you know the date your short's going to be screening yet at
I
Ollie
think
Shorts?
it's August 9th. Yeah.
August 9th. Okay. I'm trying to think. Yeah.
It's at
Okay.
7:30 p.m. and it's playing
Ah,
under the Kodak like film shorts, which I'm really excited
ooh,
about. So
yeah.
all of them will
Okay.
be shot on film. So it's cool because like I think it's just gonna be so many different genres and so many
Yes.
kinds of things. So it'll be so fun to watch.
Okay. Okay. Yay. I'm excited. I so wish I could go to this one because all the shorts are so great. And Sauna Day by Anna Hintz, you should definitely check that one out because she did Smoke Sauna Sisterhood,
Oh
which was,
yeah.
and so Sauna Day is with men in Estonia in the sauna,
Oh,
and
that's
it's
so
supposed
great.
to be really good as well. And we opened our festival with that film. So I'm that's exciting that you're in the same festival with Anna. That's yeah, because
That's awesome.
they're really great. So yeah, so thank you for speaking with me. And
Yeah.
I hope to get this up sometime next week and I'll share the link and we'll just go from there. So I hope you have a
Thanks so
good
much.
rest of your weekend.
Yeah, you too. It was so nice to see you.
Yeah, great to see you. And yes, I'll be in touch soon. And yeah, talk to you later.
Okay, have a